Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic disc review. Today we are holding the Latitude 64 Royal Savior. Now this one's in 173 grams. I've never thrown this disc. Obviously it's brand new, but the big question that we have today is, will the Savior save you strokes? Yes, that was cringy, but it works. And today I have a special guest. I got Bryson over here, so he's going to be slinging some discs with us today, and we're going to see what this Savior does. What do you think about it so far?
Well, this is my first time holding it, but I like the Supreme plastic.
It's royal.
Royal plastic. Sorry, cut. And yeah, I'm interested to see if it's like a zone.
Well, there's only one thing to do. Let's rip it and rip it and let this baby fly. All right, so first throw with the Savior. I'm just gonna throw it nice and smooth, try to pop it out there pretty flat and just see what it does on first throw backhand. Let's find out. So it felt nice and stable. Whenever I threw it flat right there, it stayed flat for a vast majority of the flight. It actually displayed a decent amount of glide as well on that throw for me. And then at the end, it had a pretty reliable fade. So first throw is a good impression. All right, so we're gonna let Bryson throw it this time. He's gonna try to pop it nice and flat as well and give us his thoughts.
It flies exactly like a brand new zone, in my opinion.
All right, so we have another special guest because this disc is new and exciting, and she liked the way it looked when we threw it. So Sherri wanted to give it a toss, so
Okay.
rip the tater chip.
I like it. Feels good in the hand and pretty straight flight and turns a little bit at the end.
Fades
Fades, well,
at
you
the
know what I
end.
mean. So yeah, definitely good disc.
So I'm going to throw this Savior on a Anhyzer right now. I expect it's not going to go super far as it's an overstable disc, but that's an important shot for this specific mold in particular. So absolutely no flutter, no thought about standing up, held the angle the whole time but didn't dump. That's a very quality flight characteristic in that disc. They're doing a good job with this one. All right, so Bryson here is going to throw us our Anhyzer shot with the Savior, and we're going to make sure that it has the stability to come out at the end, but yeah, if I'm a betting man, I'd say it does.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could really see this disc being really good in wind. As stable as it is, I think it's a great disc.
That looked really good too. Like whenever you threw it, it actually maintained some glide as well, which surprised me. Then it had that good finish.
Check it. Why are you?
Because it's cool.
Okay, so it's time to do what everybody is wanting to see. Everyone knows the Savior's fine backhand, but how does it react to the forehand? Because that's the slot that Latitude 64 is really trying to cover here, so let's find out. I threw it like that on purpose to see would it really come out of that. So it might not need to be thrown like that. All right, so Bryson's getting ready to throw the Savior on a forehand as well. My example for the first throw was not the best. I put it on Anhyzer on purpose, but it definitely needed more height, and it did not have the fight out that I was anticipating. Let's see what happens here with Bryson.
I literally threw it flat and dead straight, and it turned over. I was not expecting that at all.
Okay. So, special guest. Let's see what happens here. The Savior turned.
Definitely way more glide. And it definitely came out of it better than the Savior.
And that's a disc that came out of your collection, which is a beat-in
Zone.
So the Zone seems to have more forehand torque resistance into flight stability from that test right there. We're going to keep throwing the Savior, see how it reacts. But as of there, the Zone is still looking like the king of forehand approach discs. Special guest for me. I'm going to throw it the same way. And hopefully I don't just suck at forehands. Like, the Savior is literally, the way I'm throwing it, it's just going over on me. It's not even trying to fly per se. We'll see. So, I'm just going to throw a standstill forehand with the Savior. Doing a big power run up and such does not seem to agree very well with this disc, for me personally anyway. So I'm just going to throw a nice little approach forehand like, you know, most people would use it for. On slow speed, that felt pretty solid. So maybe that's where that disc really needs to fit into the bag. I mean, if you're really going to torque over on something and try to power up, you can just get a Justice or something like that. So makes sense within the Trilogy lineup. That felt really good right there on the more finesse, slower forehand for the approach.
I'm gonna throw it on like a Anhyzer, like standstill Anhyzer shot to see if it'll pan out. Okay, well, yeah, it pretty much came out flat, but it's definitely way better staying still than run up.
All right, we're gonna let the master teach the student how to throw an Anhyzer standstill, since he doesn't know how to and it just comes out flat. See, one day, I'll teach you that.
Understandable.
All right, so the Savior has been thrown and the Savior has flew. And personally, my final thoughts, backhand, this disc felt incredible. It felt very workable and it felt like a true good disc. Like, I would give this a solid A backhand. Now, when I went to forehand on it and went to power up on the disc, I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not Eagle McMahon throwing a forehand, so take that as you will. But it did not react very well for me. And I think the reason is, and I'm holding the Zone right now, the Savior is definitely a little deeper than the Zone and has a sharper rim bottom than the Zone. So I feel like a lot of that for me was just the way that the disc was kind of catching in my hand. But on finesse forehands, it feels incredible. So if I was using this in the woods, trying to get around some trees, some flexes, I'll teach you that later, don't worry. I should have a flex a forehand. But it felt great. So the Savior felt really good on finesse. Overall on forehands, I'd give it a solid B. I'm sure there's power players out there that has, you know, more touch with their power forehand than I, so it could very well work for you. But for me, it's a solid disc, and I will definitely recommend it. It's great for their lineup. You have any thoughts on it?
No, pretty much the exact same thing Brandon said. It's great for finesse, but I probably would not get it if you're looking for a power up approach disc, unless you just got some touch.
You saying you don't?
No, I do not.
Well, guys and girls and everybody else in the disc golf community, just remember, whether it's Latitude 64 or anyone else, if you love your plastic, you'll play fantastic.